Vladimir Putin continues to kill children, and millions of Ukrainians are escaping for their lives. The next few weeks in Ukraine are going to be ugly as the dictator ramps up his brutal and bloody assault without any concern for the lives of innocent civilians. That is the grim prediction and the quote from the head of the CIA today. He warned Congress that Vladimir Putin has no clear end game in sight as his bruised and battered war machine faces stiff resistance and Ukrainian forces hold on to key cities, including the capital, Kyiv.
I think Putin is angry and frustrated right now. He's likely to double down and try to grind down the Ukrainian military with no regard for civilian casualties.
The Ukrainians are accusing Russian troops of shelling and attacking humanitarian corridors that civilians are trying to use to evacuate from their war-torn cities and villages. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with a standing ovation from the British Parliament today. He delivered a defiant speech online and invoked the words of Winston Churchill from the darkest days of World War II, when Hitler himself appeared to be on the verge of victory.
We
will not give up and we will not lose. We will fight till the end. We will fight at sea. We will fight in the air. We will defend our land, whatever the cost. We will fight in the forests, in the fields, on the shores, in the cities and villages, on the streets. We will fight on the hills.
Poland is now offering to give all of its Soviet-era MiG-29 fighter jets to the United States military at Ramstein Air Base in Germany for distribution to Ukraine. But the Pentagon said today it is not comfortable with that setup. The spokesman, John Kirby, saying the prospect of fighter jets at the disposal of the government of the United States of America departing from a U.S. NATO base in Germany to fly into airspace that is contested with Russia over Ukraine raises serious concerns for the entire NATO alliance. President Zelensky has been begging for the warplanes. His outnumbered and outgunned Air Force has been fighting desperately to prevent Russia from gaining complete control over the skies of Ukraine. Putin has suffered heavy losses, no doubt, yet he still has around 95% of the combat power and forces he started with, according to a senior Pentagon official today. That means Russia has plenty of firepower left. We continue to see heartbreaking scenes inside Ukraine. Look at this. A Ukrainian policeman saying goodbye to his own crying son as his family prepares to flee from their destroyed town near Kyiv. He is staying behind. Meantime, President Biden dealing a blow to what he calls the artery of Russia's economy. Today, he announced a ban on Russian oil, Russian natural gas, and Russian energy imports. More on that in just a moment, and what it means for all of us in our wallets and the prices at the pump. But we begin tonight's coverage with our sister network, Sky News. Their special correspondent, Alex Rossi, reports on Ukrainians, or I should say, Alex Crawford reports, on Ukrainians taking up arms and fighting back after Russian bombs destroyed their homes.
They know all about civilians being attacked here. This small village community just south of the Ukrainian capital has been torn apart by Russian bombs. Almost an entire street disappeared in an instant. 3 children and 3 adults were killed, devastating their families and the whole neighborhood. The explosions have left a deep burning anger and a thirst for revenge amongst the men of the village who've taken up arms to defend their community and their country. I feel only hate, he tells us. We'll never, ever forgive them for this. Another says they have to close the skies. The rest of the world have to become involved and close the airspace above Ukraine. And their friend says, we'll keep on shooting them. Every time they shoot us, we'll shoot back, and we won't leave any alive. We're going to kill every single invader.
They're still reeling from the shock of it all, and I think it follows a pattern of an increasing number of civilians and civilian targets or civilian locations which appear to be targeted or certainly not off the agenda of the Russian war machine.
Civilians are in the crosshairs of this war. A brief respite in shelling and firing in Irpin on the outskirts of the capital meant those still trapped were finally able to escape.
Ukraine!
Ukraine's former president Petro Poroshenko has been busy rallying volunteer fighters and soldiers. He's among a growing list of people demanding safe passage for civilians. We were with him as he boosted morale and championed the bravery of the troops. Their job protecting the critically important southern route out of the capital is crucial, and he brought fresh weapons and supplies to help. If this route is taken by the Russian military, the capital will be encircled. If Ukrainians could win on defiance and courage, they would win. But they need more than defiance and courage, don't they? And at the moment, the capital is slowly being encircled.
First of all, remove the word if. We definitely win. This is first message. We will win with or without Western assistance. Because you see how strong is Ukrainian, but it takes significantly more time and will need significantly more lives and blood.
The former president took us to see another residential area which had been hit. Ukraine's heading for many more civilian deaths, he's warning, and there are few in the country confident enough to say otherwise right now. Alex Crawford, Sky News in Vasilkiv.